we all pay attention to our cars. The check engine light goes on and we're like, oh shit, I gotta take it because if I have a problem and this gets worse, we say this in our heads. If my car problem gets worse, it's gonna cost me so much more money. That's how we feel about our cars. We don't feel like that about our bodies. And guess what? It will cost you everything. If you are laid up in a hospital bed and you can't focus on your health and you can't do your work, or you can't take care of your kids, or whatever it is in your life, then now you're gonna miss out on because you didn't value it before. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Better Together. When you know better, you get better. That's what we try to do here every single day. Today, I'm coming to you from another location. Just trying to make sure you guys are paying attention.
Stand on your feet.
So I'm in my office here in LA because the studio is just so hot. Somehow, guys, I don't know, but LA became Vegas. We now live in Vegas, just so you know.
Yeah, it's really hot. Really
it's just
hot.
Disgusting and actually undoable for me now. Like to the point where I'm like, I might move now just because of the heat.
Well, can I give you a tip?
Or what?
Can I give you a tip?
Yeah.
Come to the west side, baby. It's at least 10 degrees colder over there.
Yeah, it's a lot better there.
I'd rather do terrible things to
Really?
myself.
They go to the west side?
Yes,
By the water?
Too much chaos, too many people, too much. I like land and yard and trees and peace.
Beach.
You're young. You want excitement and like fun.
No.
and,
I'm not saying come to West Hollywood. I'm saying like the west side, like the Palisades, Malibu.
Yeah,
Manhattan
but to me
Beach.
that's depressing too because it's so cold there when you want it to be warm.
So really, we just can't win.
And the sun feels like it never comes out. You have to wait till the afternoon for it to burn off.
Oh my God.
No, I've really thought this through over the years. So
All right.
listen, I think I'm just going to live in Connecticut from July on and I'll be happy because July is when it starts to get unbearable here. August, September is just atrocious. And the fall season is what I really love. I now have become that person that actually loves the 3 seasons.
The 3. What season do you not like? What? Winter?
Winter.
Okay.
Kelsey, come on. Although it wasn't
checking.
bad, actually.
Yeah, you liked it for like a hot second. We took some pics in the snow, and it honestly wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
No. So that makes me feel like I could perhaps live on the East Coast again or somewhere that isn't the West Coast because between the fires and the madness here, I don't know anymore.
I know.
Pooja, you ready to move with us somewhere else?
I'm replacing Kelsey in Connecticut, I guess.
Oh, she's kicking me out.
She just kicked you out.
She just kicked me out.
I said, are you ready to move
I
with
know.
us?
I was like, that was so aggressive. I'm like, I tell her she can be in the shot, and now she's replacing me.
I know. I'm sorry, Kelsey.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow. You give a little, they take it all, Kelsey.
God,
You
unbelievable.
gotta make them earn it.
I know. What the heck?
True.
My monitor's going crazy. What's going on? What's going on here? It's the heat.
Okay, so our quote of the day: the one who accepts his path as timeless with no expectation of getting certain results will find greater happiness in life. And that is from our guest this week, Yogi Cameron. I hope you guys are enjoying kind of our themed weeks where we're trying to kind of stay on the same topic. So it's like less bouncing around and overwhelming. So I thought today we would kind of break down this week with Yogi because I feel like there was so much in those 2 episodes with him and Yogini, Jaima, that just kind of blew me away. And I always have that with Cameron. Like we have such a great time when we get together and connect and talk, and Jaima obviously too. But I feel like there was so much, and it's funny that what happened that morning with the coffees spawned kind of a whole other conversation because I know there are a lot of people your age, Pooja, that are listening that are in the same boat. Right now, your head is probably completely full tilt. How do I win? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially
You're not thinking about your health.
No, I hate to admit it, but I'm not. I'm definitely taking it for granted. Like he said, like being 21, yeah, I'm okay right now. Like, you know, my body can handle it. But when I hit 30 maybe, or even earlier, it's going to all hit me at once and it's not going to be pretty. So
yeah. And what's crazy is like, so for me, I've always, you know, I listen to my elders. And I think that was a big reason why I was as successful as I was. I always listened to my elders. And one of the things, the other areas where I was kind of ahead preventative wise was finances. So my deep rooted fear of being not financially well, let's put it like that, and having to go through the things we went through as you know, a family growing up and my parents, was definitely a driving force for me to make that a focus. So for me, I had a strong focus in how do I not take what I'm making for granted? Because the other place where I think people lose it is, oh, I'm okay now. I can spend everything I'm earning. I'm okay now. And so like everybody I mentor, like even my friend Dimitri, I'm like, yes, you're okay now. What happens next week when you get into some kind of accident? And now the things you work with, your hands, you're the greatest hairstylist in our business. Now you can't work with them. What are you going to do? Are you going to have to rely on begging friends for money because you spent it all every day on Balenciaga and whatever else you're buying? You've got to save money. You have to be as financially independent as you possibly can. Doesn't mean you're not going to need people in some moment, but people are going to be less apt to help you if they saw you being scrupulous throughout your times, right? So for me, I always thought, how do I save? How do I invest? How do I do this right so that I'm always safe? Wasn't necessarily doing that in the health department because no one stopped to teach me my health was important, which is why I'm so grateful we get to do this every day, because I am making sure that you two as young people in my peripheral are making it important. Kelsey, you know from Go, it was important. And Pooja, you're learning. It's important, but it's your finances are important. And Kelsey's gotten that from me too, where I'm like, no, you don't need all this shit at TJ Maxx right now. I will allow this and this. Like I'm like the tough sister.
But I'm also like I'm so appreciative you did that to me then because I've really needed it now. Like in that extra crap, I'm like, I wish I spent less on that extra crap. And yeah, it's wild. Yeah. Like you don't
because
need
you were okay then.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not okay now because now your health stuff has imploded to a degree where it's like important for you to go get all these, tests and these functional medicine people and really focusing on, these other things you need. And so you need money for that. And yeah, I mean, when I'm in Connecticut, I see a room full of shit that you just didn't necessarily need that could have been invested in this, but thank God we stopped you in your tracks when we did. But the point isn't you or Pooja. I'm using you guys as examples for people so they understand we're always thinking of the now, which is, there's a healthy version of that, right? You can't be so in the future you're not living now either. And I did that too. So I'm kind of that's why I think I'm good to give advice to a degree, because I've lived so many different lives and so many different versions where I was so living ahead that I wasn't living in the moment and enjoying it or even feeling it or experiencing it. And so it was like heaven had to force me to start spending money at one point because I was so crazy about it. But I think that thinking about the future is just as important in your career as it is in your health and your finances and even like your personal life, right? Like thinking about like, do I want kids? Like I got to start thinking about what does that look like? And if it's not now, great. Then you have to at least make sure you don't get so caught up in everything that you never address that part of life, which you hear a lot of women somewhere around mid-30s when they start to hear, oh, my egg count is going to go down now. Oh, by now, back in the day, women have already had their kids and they're like old at 35 in terms of their like ovaries and stuff, which listen, you can still have kids even to 40 and whatever, like doctors still can make shit happen. But the natural cycle of our bodies is at 35 for it to start to dip down, as they say. This is what the experts say, not me. I've not studied the ovaries. But but it's really thinking kind of ahead and planning for the rainy day. And so even like recently, Kelsey's like, I really want to get this and I really want to buy that. And I'm like, Kelsey, think about down the line, that rainy day. Is it really important right now? Like I've gone so many seasons. I know this is crazy. Like I always think of wardrobe in seasons, like, okay, it's fall. And I used to get like a new boot in the fall that I was excited about, right? I haven't done that in years. You know why? Because we live in LA and we don't really wear them. We're in flip-flops like 9 months out of the year. And then the other 3 months, you might wear a heel to something you're going to, a dinner or like a bar or whatever, or you're going to wear your boot, boots that you've worn forever, like your Docs or something. Do we really need it? It's just more stuff. And so I hadn't been in that cycle for a long time. And I realized, well, I didn't really need a lot of that stuff. And, like, what do you really need? So you got to look at it. Like Kelsey, right now, you really need to focus on your health. All the other stuff you can't focus on right now. Fashion and whatever. You're going to look cute no matter what, but.
Cheers. That was a slow tear down my face. No, you're right.
But I did find those cute Zara boots that were cheap for you. And I said, these are a good one.
She did. I was like, you're right. And that, like, my head was already kind of there. I'm like, I don't need it now. And also it's like not the time to even be shopping for this now. Cause it was like, yeah, I mean, focus on what's going on here. But then Maria did say, okay, you can get these though, which I haven't, old Kelsey probably would have looked it up and bought it the next second, but I actually haven't yet. So
yeah, because you didn't really respond to me.
I think I said I really liked them. I think I did.
Oh, really? I don't remember.
Yeah. And no, they're really cute. Cute. But I think that,
because those rubber boots, by the way, are very popular right now.
Oh, I know. I did see a cute pair on Free People.
But they're going to be so expensive on Free People.
You're right. Better at Zara.
Zara has them for so cheap.
We love Zara.
Those fads you should not be spending a lot of money on.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Anywho. So what did you girls feel like impacted you the most about what Yogi and Yogina shared with us this week?
See, I'm going to look through my notes.
And anything that you think you're going to implement. Like I know for me, I'll give you time to think.
Yeah.
I know for me, Yoga Nidra was, it was a lot for me to focus on at the time, but I knew it was for my own good. And I knew it was going to help me. And just the thought of it puts me to sleep. But it is really powerful. And when you understand what she said, that meditation, the point of meditation is to be able to get to those kind of beta and theta waves and stuff. And I never thought about it like that. I thought it was just about quieting the mind. I didn't think about it in terms of, oh, we want these waves. These waves bring us to our higher consciousness. That was a massive aha moment for me that I'm still kind of sitting with, where I'm like, wow, we use 10% of our consciousness. There's 90% that's not being used. And if I do this, I can use the 90%. Imagine the creativity, the intuitive powers. I already have intuitive powers and I'm probably operating on 5%. Imagine what could happen if I do this. So I know for me, I'm going to try to make it to the bedroom earlier so I can lay down and do my yoga nidra. And if I need a bridge to get there, I'm going to use her on the go one where you can sit up, and I can do it in the car if I arrive early somewhere,
She's doing it right now. Yeah.
So,
I'm not going to lie. I'm glad you asked about the driving thing, because I really did think she was going to say, because she kept using car. So I'm like, you can do it when you're driving? I mean, what else? Why would you just be sitting in your car? So when you asked that, I was like, okay, she was not the only one thinking that. And I'm sure other people were too. So do not do it while driving.
What a good reporter and host does.
That's right.
Questions everyone's thinking. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see what I still am really stuck on. I've always found Ayurvedic medicine fascinating. And I really do want to look more into that, the air, earth, fire elements with the different pain points. I was like, that was crazy to me. What else did I really love? Oh, our problems arise when we try and control others. Skirt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, And I really loved talking about your nature. And it really tied in so well to Jonathan Field's episode and the Sparketype. And it's just been so interesting how, like, that's been a talking point and a, point of conversation the past couple weeks, because I think it's so important. So I'm going to do that SWAN practice, writing and making a list of your strengths, your weaknesses, your aspirations, and then your needs, your basic needs that you need to survive, and look at that and try and, figure out what is my nature and dive more. And I know it and I know like elements of it, but I thought that was a really cool conversation, or part of the conversation.
That actually reminds me, I think because I had to shoot Roku last week, we forgot, but we were going to get together and talk about what your roles, how you guys figured out. Cause I told them, you guys know your strengths and weaknesses. You guys figure out who's going to handle what, so that we have like clear defined roles. So we need to go over that this week. So you guys schedule that into our calendar, maybe tomorrow. Pooja, what stuck out to you?
I just like
outside of the conversation about you not having that much caffeine.
Yeah, besides the fact that I can't drink coffee anymore or 3 cups anymore, I just liked how they took a more realistic approach to changing your habits. Like, I was like, okay, I'll try to sleep at 10. They're like, well, realistically, you're going to do that? Probably not. So how about instead of watching like Law and Order SVU before bed, you read a book, or you do something that's a little lighter. That's a good first step. So like, okay, you still sleep a little later, but at least in the morning when I wake up, I'm not going to have nightmares about like crazy things because of the heavy show that I watched before bed, and then maybe I'll sleep a little bit earlier and then slowly go like that. It's not like starting cold turkey, because I think that's just so hard to do. Like, I'm used to sleeping at a certain time. So to change that in one day, like, it's not a realistic way to do it. So I like the little micro steps that they gave me that I'm going to start to take before I make that bigger jump. So yeah.
I like that. That's what I told you when we were having our little quick powwow before and that's why I went to realistic too. I'm like, okay, instead of 12 or 1, let's do 11. Really, it should be like 10, but I know you're not going to go to 10 right away.
Right.
But do you think, and I'm just so curious, like, Kelsey's in a different place in her life. She's a little older than you, and she's already seeing health accumulation kind of hit her. Do you care about your health genuinely? Like, and I want you to be totally honest. Do you care about it more and think you're going to make it more of a focus, or do you just think you're going to take it for granted because that's just a human nature at this point? Like, I'm fine. I just got a red line and hope it all works out.
Yeah, honestly, I think if I wasn't on this show or working on this show, I probably would just be like, oh, it's fine. Like, I'll be okay. I don't see anything happening to me right now. So like, why am I worrying about it? But honestly, being on the show and like hearing about this is making me care about it. And I have to say, my mom's so happy because she tells me all these things all the time. She's like, this is not healthy for you. Like, all this stuff. My dad's like, he's a gastroenterologist, so he's a stomach doctor, and he's like, maybe you have stomach problems because you're drinking 2 cups of coffee a day. And I'm like, what do you know, Dad? Like, you don't know anything about this. And he's like, yeah, okay. So it's just, so it's just funny because they're definitely excited that I'm starting to take a little bit more of a healthy approach to my life. Even like my dinners, like I'm like, I need some fruit or vegetables or like a salad, before I'd probably just have straight pasta or like ramen noodles or the easiest thing.
I'm on the mission to get Pooja start bringing lunch. That's my mission. We're like, we need to eat meals instead of granola bars. Yes. But it's those little things. Like, I did that when I was 21 too.
Yeah, because if I can just run on coffee, then why wouldn't I do that? But now I know why I shouldn't do that.
And then look at where you can be at 27. You could be dealing with stomach issues like Kelsey.
And spending lots of money on CAT scans. It's super fun, let me tell you.
Yeah, honestly, I already have stomach problems. I don't think this pattern or this habit's a good one to keep going. But now I have steps to take.
Yeah, so I think, listen, that's why we do what we do, right? It's, first of all, it's going to help us 3, 4, Kevin, whatever. But us going through this journey with everybody, now we're all continuously every day getting to hear things that are good for us, rather than turning on the TV and watching low vibration people scream and fight about politics and like everybody judging each other, everybody telling you all this crazy ass stuff. Like, to me, I unless it's like a fun show, like America's Got Talent or like American Ninja Warrior or even 90 Day Fiance, I can't do it because in terms of like the news and all of that and any kind of talk shows, feel so kind of outdated and only continuing that cycle. Where for me, why I love what we're doing here is we're breaking the cycle and we're saying there's so much like life enriching content for you that repetitively over time will build new habits. So I always say, don't get overwhelmed by all the content we're throwing at you. Take what works for you, take little bits, apply it. Then when that muscle gets strong, apply the next thing, get that muscle strong, apply the next thing. It's like going to the gym and building your body, like your calves, your quads, your hamstrings, there's all these different muscles you have to put attention to. And so whether it's mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual health, that's what we're trying to do every day, is expose you to all these different thoughts, perspectives, modalities, and approaches so that you can make a better choice in life at every turn. And I know how much it's impacted me and changed my life and my trajectory. I know right now, the way my body screams at me when I don't eat something right is so loud that I'm like, oh, thank you, God. I am shifting at just the right moment. Because even though I'm healthy to a degree, I still was taking liberties. I would still, have some fried stuff here and there, which doesn't mean I'm never going to have fried stuff again, by the way. But I was still taking some liberties. And now, just in this last maybe 2 months, I've really focused on eating at home, eating clean, and really making those changes and making them permanent. So now I don't think it's weird. And truthfully, I wasn't happy ordering out and eating out all the time. I was really unhappy. Now I'm like satiated because I'm also gaining more time in my day because I'm not running around trying to figure out what I'm going to eat, where I'm picking it up from, and all of that. So yeah, that's why I love what we get to do.
I think too, Maria, it was kind of interesting you just said that because I was looking at my notes, and the other thing Jaima said that I really loved was that the body's addicted to stress. And I think that was one thing. It was like, maybe you didn't realize it, but it was like, okay, where are we going to eat? Where are we going to go? It was almost like it's an addiction, right? To have that sort of like during the day. Yeah. I mean, I do it to myself. All of us do it. So I think that what I like.
Kevin knew is a problem. He goes, food is a problem for you. Yes. You're always stressing about what you're going to eat. I'm like, because I know I'm going to be hungry and I know I'm going to be stressed about it. And it takes forever to get it. And blah, 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 blah. It was a huge stressor in my life. Yeah. So now it's like, I'm done.
Not a biggie. Yeah. But we all have those. So I really liked that. I liked I think a lot of gurus and yogis can be so extreme. And I really liked just how relatable and down to earth they were. And they're like, yeah, it's not always going to be like peaches and cream. Like this shit is hard and you're supposed to feel crappy. And yeah, we're addicted to stress and you're not going to feel good and it's going to be hard. So I don't know. I really liked that take and that approach. And that was a good reminder for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have, one of the things I wrote down, what am I working towards? And, I went into a call after that episode for a project, and my head was just in such a good vibration, such a good place that I was able to crack a project I've been trying to crack for so long. And now it's going to help people times 10 what I was ever thinking it was going to do. But what am I working towards? Okay, cool. So we all know we're all working towards being Beyonce and having everything. What? Yeah, we're all working towards whatever our goals are in life. And I think most of us are looking for success. That's just it. Love, success, fulfillment. But success kind of really takes the front seat because we're trained. You got to go to college, you got to get a degree so you can make money. You got to be, you got to go win. And so that's the system we're put into. But maybe I can, with the show, really be the beacon to say, what if our focus is our health? Mom, Dad, what if it's not just about pleasing you, right? What if it's about pleasing me? What if it's about me actually taking time to make sure I'm mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually okay? And if I am, and we focus on those pillars, everything I want is going to happen. Because I'm going to be moving forward with such a healthy kind of approach, right? if succeeding and kind of all of that wasn't the number one thing, I don't know if we would all suffer as much.
Well, I mean, I look at different countries, right? And I feel like that's not their number one thing, and they don't suffer as much. They put family first. Not always, but
listen, there are so many beautiful countries, I won't name names, that I love. Okay. But they're suffering economically. They suffer in opportunity. They suffer in a lot of ways, but they have their other extreme, right? I don't know which country, until you've done research on those countries and you know everything, it's hard to say. Other countries have, we know that Italy and France and Greece and all these places, they live. We know they enjoy, they wine, they cheese, they nap, they do all this stuff. But until you've really done the homework and you know economically where everybody's at and all, I know so many people who can't get jobs who are like wishing they could be here.
Yeah, I guess I was more just talking like health related, just like with my relatives in Italy. But I agree with you. I think that's more. It was like my cousin over there. She's just living her life and they just don't focus so much. Like health is more of a priority for them because it's like health, family, this, that versus like go. But I agree with you. They have their other.
Everybody has their stuff.
Everyone has their stuff.
I do feel like if us, like we live in the greatest country in the world and, we're not perfect, but we have a lot more going for us. If we were all being trained and raised to be our healthiest selves, and that means in a full 360 health, we would have a lot more success in every way.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like how sad is this? Suffering is what brings us to seek balance. Like, why do we have to suffer to then find balance? It's true. Like, I know that for myself. I know that that's what is happening to me. But like, that's such a bummer. Like, that's such a bummer. So,
I think that happened to me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying how God had to throw some massive bricks in my head to be like, yo,
listen, girl,
slow it down. And
Yeah.
I was like, what? And then, the final brick hit me hard. But I think that's what most people have to have happen. But that's why I asked Pooja, like, really, like, because I just want to know if it's kind of a lost cause, like, is it just something that just is just going to be nature for everybody to take advantage of their bodies and their health in the pursuit of more and success? Is that something that is unchangeable? Because I don't really know for sure.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's like, especially when you're young, and Kelsey, you can still speak to this. It's like, there's so much pressure to like go, because if you don't do it, someone else will do it. And then if someone else does it, they're going to get ahead of you. So like trying to keep that all in mind. So like working so hard to like prove yourself and to get ahead. It's almost like, it's like if I'm not doing something.
You have to have your health take a backseat.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like, why am I wasting my time on my health when I should be doing stuff to like move my career forward? Because I know this is the time that I have to build that foundation. But then, as Yogi said, that actually really struck a chord was you can't achieve your highest potential if you're not healthy. Like you're gonna break down like eventually. And it really hit me because at first I was like, okay, yeah, I won't have caffeine. Like, sure, like I won't, like I'll sleep a little earlier. But it didn't really hit me till he said that, and I was like, oh wow, like you're right. Like I'm going to break down eventually. Like we're all.
And everything you're afraid of is what will happen. Someone will take your place when you're now not able to do the job, right?
Exactly. So what I'm afraid of, I'm just like, I'm getting there. Right. I'm getting there. But I just don't think I am. But now I know I am.
So here's the thing. So then let's break this down, right? Because it seems like, oh my God, how do I do both? To me, for you guys at your age, it's having a primary care physician. If you don't have one, I have one we love. Kelsey uses him. He's amazing.
True.
And so having a primary care physician, getting your, annual appointment in, getting your blood work, understanding what your body's baseline is. Obviously for women, you got to get your gyno appointment in every year. If you can get your teeth cleaned, that's obviously really nice. what I've always done with my teeth outside of like, going to my dentist is I detartar my own teeth with that little rubber pointed tartar thing.
You can get it off
So
Amazon.
they have no work to do when I go in. They're like, you give me no work. And I'm like, yes. Cause every night when I feel something in my teeth, I have like this OCD kick in, I clean them with that little thing and boom. So, you can have really healthy habits that if, for some reason you don't have dental insurance or, whatever, you can, keep up with your teeth, but it's going to the doctors and it's keeping a pain journal. If you are noticing patterns in your body, which you're not going to notice patterns until you're writing it down. If your stomach's hurting and you have diarrhea for a week, like write it down. Every day I had this. This is what I ate. This is what I have. It's not a huge time commitment to take care of your health. Jot it down. And then at the end of the week or 2 weeks, look at the patterns and say, wow, I didn't even realize I have it every day. Something's wrong, or I'm constipated every day. Or look at the markers, like look at your urine. If your urine's always dark, it's because you're dehydrated. So my body is dehydrated. How is the car going to move without gas? Gotta give yourself the water. So you look at that. Then on top of that, you can say, all right, every day I'm going to wake up, and even if it's just 5 minutes outside, I'm going to go outside, I'm going to breathe the air, I'm going to set my intention for the day. And that's it. By the way, that always works for me. At the end of the night, I'm going to do my grateful list. That to me is very little time commitment for someone who's on their journey wanting to go win. Now you've taken care of your emotional, physical, spiritual, all of it without a lot of work. It doesn't have to be this whole big thing.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to start setting the intentions in the morning and doing the grateful list at night. It's like a small little thing that I can do that'll keep me sane and balanced.
I love it. It's changed my life. Like I did it this morning. I went outside, I'm like breathing and just like kind of soaking up the sun and like the trees. And I'm like, thank you, God, today's going to be a great day. And, it was because we closed on this house we sold a day early and I'm so excited. And that brought me great joy. And so, I think those are easy ways to kind of access your health at your age. And then, as you get older, you have to add more things in, right? Like if you see you're really tired or you're foggy, and those are things you'll see in your journal, maybe I'm not getting what I need in my diet. It's like, you got to investigate what's the source. Am I working too hard? Am I not sleeping enough? Okay, well, let me try this. Let me try that. If you're getting headaches, well, I gotta go get that checked, So it's just paying attention to your body. It's no different than paying attention to your car. We all pay attention to our cars. The check engine light goes on and we're like, oh shit, I got to take it because if I have a problem and this gets worse, we say this in our heads. If my car problem gets worse, it's going to cost me so much more money. That's how we feel about our cars. We don't feel like that about our bodies. And guess what? It will cost you everything. If you are laid up in a hospital bed and you can't focus on your health and you can't do your work, or you can't take care of your kids, or whatever it is in your life, then now you're going to miss out on because you didn't value it before. Like you value your car.
My check engine light's been on for a week. I haven't taken her in. No, but you're right. You're right. It's like, I mean, you say it all the time. We're always like, shh, stop it. Shh. I mean, I think about when I had my appendectomy and I literally I've said this before, I was more stressed that I wasn't at work because of the environment I was in, and no one could properly cover for me, that I went back, I think after like 3 days, and my doctors about threw me out the window. And I was like, I can't not go back. I had to. Like, that's crazy sauce. Like,
you did not have to.
Then yeah, you're right. I
know, but we only know that later, right? I gave my power away too. And so, unfortunately, that's a whole other lesson to learn. Meanwhile, if you batch fruit,
it looks delicious.
Raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries. It's been a nice treat for the last week or so. And then it gets like all this fruit juice that piles up that's natural. So when you need a little like sweet or a little pick me up, that's what I do.
Nature's cereal.
So girls, if you take a little Tupperware, make a nature cereal and leave it in your fridge down in the office,
Ooh,
right?
Delicious.
You guys could also switch turns on batch cooking. By the way, you could batch cook, create the content, put it on our blog when that's up, and show everyone your age how to be doing this, creating the TikToks for Better Together. And then you do a quinoa batch, you do like a, or whatever, like a big salad batch that every day you're just taking from that salad batch. It's so actually simple, and you would make it fun, and you would make it part of your work. I always like try to figure out, how do I make my work be like a twofer?
We love twofers.
So I don't know.
I like
just an
that.
idea.
I did make the best 1-sheet pan meal last night that I should batch for everyone. It was just like lots of veggies and some chicken and some olive oil, and it was amazing. It will last me at least 4 days this week for lunches.
I'm still dreaming of your almond butter bread thing you made me. At the height of like my mom and dad being in hospitals with COVID, we were starving. And she grilled with olive oil a piece of Dave's bread, put some almond butter and cinnamon on it. The cinnamon was my little concoction I had been doing that I loved. So it felt like a sweet dessert. And it was so good. I need to do it again.
It's so good. It's so that's the one thing I will say I'm good at, because I'm not the most creative chef / I don't really enjoy cooking, but like you can make really basic things delicious. And that's another Yogi camera thing. He was saying like, I was the queen of putting 400 things in my smoothies. Homegirl, that is probably way worse for you than putting 3 really good things. So
yeah,
you can make basic things delicious.
There you go. That's the Ever Girl's Guide to Cooking.
Boom.
My mom's like specialty was, how do I make quick, easy, healthy meals with just 5 ingredients or less? So it's like manageable. You have these spices in your cabinet and you just go. It's so easy.
Yeah. Love it.
So anyhow, I'm excited to see Pooja's journey.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes, me too.
She's excited too.
I'm excited too.
I know. Well, it's no coincidence we were all brought here. So
True.
I think it's going to be good. So, all right, guys, as always, if you haven't hit subscribe on YouTube, please do hit subscribe. I can't keep them all
Turn
track.
on the notifications.
Turn on the notifications, and if you'd leave us a little comment on Apple Podcasts and a 5-star review, we would greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, be nice people, make good choices, and be present.